Education in times of an epidemic. Uncertainty over the academic year. Learning during a lockdown. What happens to competitive exams? 12th and 10th standard board exams due, but dates still pending. Students left in the lurch. Clear all doubts. Join us on To The Point. So parikshas during a pandemic or exams during a pandemic, completely in limbo, not knowing when the due date is, can leave students with many and anxious moments. What happens in the next academic year? All that questions answered right here on To The Point. But first up, viewers, we are in the midst of a pandemic. And I want to get you up to speed with the latest numbers that we are recording. Overall total cases in India today, ladies and gentlemen, just about data recorded 10 minutes ago, stands at 29,974. So we are practically 26 cases short of reaching the 30,000 mark. The death toll recorded till now in India stands at 937. I want to take you through the worst hit states, and unfortunately they continue to remain the same. Maharashtra is leading India with the maximum COVID-19 cases at 8,590. The state has till now recorded 369 deaths. Second is the state of Gujarat, which has recorded till now total of 3,548 COVID-19 cases with 162 deaths. Delhi till now has recorded 3,108 COVID-19 positive cases with 54 deaths. Now, this is the data that my producer and I have culled just till about 10 or 15 minutes ago. But once again, coming on to our focus story or our driver story on To The Point this evening, and that concerns all of you students out there extremely anxious on what's going to happen. These are unprecedented times, and these are unprecedented circumstances. Some of you who right now are in their 12th standard are still hanging in limbo, not knowing when their final exam is. Because if I'm not wrong, there's just 1 or 2 exams left for 12th class students. What about those of you who are looking to appear for competitive exams? We're going to hopefully try and answer some of the questions here, as the nationwide lockdown has not impacted just lives, but studies of millions of students in the country. The Union Home Resources Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal held a meeting with the education ministers of all states today. He appealed to all states to start the process of evaluation of answer sheets. Delhi's Education Minister Manish Sisodia urged CBSE to assess students on the basis of internal examination for the exams, and the exams that were pending now to let them be. And the assessment should be done on the basis of internal examination. Now, Manish Sisodia also requested the HRD ministry to cut syllabus for next year by 30%. But what did the CBSE say in all of this? They say they need about 2 months or 45 days at least to evaluate. The CBSE has also said very clearly that 10th standard examinations, if you are a 10th standard board examination student and you have exams pending which were stalled due to COVID-19, that would mean that those exams will not happen. You will be assessed on the exams that you've already given. Now, if you're a CBSE student, especially, like I said, if you were preparing for 10th and 12th board exams, here's some very important information that you really would want to know, even your anxious parents. Now, CBSE Secretary Anurag Tripathi confirmed to India Today that there will be no further examinations, like I said, for class 10 subjects that are pending. Results will be out on those papers that have already happened. What did he say about competitive exams? What did he say if you're a 12th standard student? Listen in.
फर्स्ट अप्रैल को अपनी एक एडवाइजरी जारी की है। उसमें हमने बहुत क्लियर कहा है कि 10th का कोई भी एग्जाम अब हम नहीं कंडक्ट करेंगे। जो भी एग्जाम्स 10th के हो गए हैं उनके बेस पे हम रिजल्ट दे देंगे। 12th सब्जेक्ट के एग्जाम्स क्लास 12th के हम उनका री एग्जाम करेंगे एंड वी आर वेटिंग कि जैसे लॉकडाउन उठेगा हम परीक्षा कर सकेंगे। हमारी इवैल्यूएशन प्रोसेस भी अभी शुरू नहीं हो पाई है और इसमें लगभग हमें 1.5 महीने का 1.5 मंथ का समय लगेगा। नॉर्मली सीबीएसई के 10th और 12th बोर्ड एग्जाम्स के बाद जेईई और नीट के एग्जाम होते हैं और बाकी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स होते हैं। इवन यूनिवर्सिटीज, कॉलेजेस, बाकी सब भी हमारे बोर्ड एग्जाम के बाद ही ये काम करते हैं। तो हम उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि 3rd के बाद लॉकडाउन ओपन होगा। गवर्नमेंट अगर इस सिचुएशन होगा, गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर भी डिपेंड करेगा कि सिचुएशन कैसी है, कोविड कंट्रोल कितना चल रहा है, हम वापस कितना रिवाइव कर रहे हैं। और अगर गवर्नमेंट को लगता है कि नहीं इस समय चीजें की जा सकती है, तो हम 10 से 12 दिन में परीक्षाएं पूरी कर लेंगे। इसमें पेशेंस रखने के अलावा हमारे पास और कोई उपाय नहीं है। तो पेरेंट्स और हम सब उनको सपोर्ट करें और ये मान के चलें कि जब ये सिचुएशन नॉर्मल होगी, उसके बाद उनके बोर्ड एग्जाम के रिजल्ट भी आएंगे, नीट, जेईई और कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम भी कंडक्ट होंगे, रिजल्ट आएंगे और फर्दर उनकी एजुकेशन स्टार्ट होगी। लेकिन इस समय उनको पेशेंस रखना है, इमोशनली हमें और पेरेंट्स को उनको सपोर्ट करना है और घर में एक ऐसा एटमॉस्फेयर क्रिएट करना है जिसमें बच्चों की लर्निंग हो सके, स्किलिंग हो सके, एबिलिटी डेवलप हो सके और इस समय का हमें उपयोग करना है।
All right, so if you're a CBSE student and you're in your 10th and the 12th or looking at competitive exams, hopefully you got your answers there. And if you didn't, hold it. We have certain experts with us this evening. I have right now Atishi joining us from the Aam Aadmi Party. She's an MLA but also has been key in devising the education policy for Delhi. I have Jyoti Gupta, Principal, DPS Ghaziabad. A very worried mother, Bipasha Mukherjee, joins me. She has a 12th standard child who's with her son Chandreo Kundu, who's joining her right there. He's from the humanities stream, if I'm not wrong. I have Malika Kesar, who's a student from the science stream and is now looking at giving an exam for NEET and doesn't know when that exactly will happen. Atishi, you know, there are a lot of questions that some of these parents, students might have, but I want to ask you, when Mr. Pokhriyal today, the education minister, spoke to various stakeholders in each state, what was the input given by Delhi?
See, I think as far as Delhi is concerned, Delhi also has a very high incidence of COVID positive cases. So even if the central government decides to open the lockdown on 3rd May, it will definitely be a staggered opening. Delhi does remain one of the hotspots, Delhi and Bombay having borne the greatest brunt of the initial international travelers. So schools and colleges, because they're natural places where a lot of people are coming together, I believe are something that should not be opened for a while. And I think that poses a risk both to the students, to the teachers, to the administrative system that will have to run their exams. And so this is the reason why the Delhi government has proposed that 10th and 12th standard exams, the exams that have not happened so far, you must remember that a lot of the papers of the CBSE exams have already happened. Mm-hmm. But I think especially for Delhi, we believe that the exams should probably be cancelled because I do not think under the current circumstances it would be good to get together hundreds of students to give an exam. There can be systems by which internal assessments, previous assessments, semester exams, some formulae can be devised by which for the exams and subjects that have not had their exams, their results can be calculated.
Atishi, before I go to our other guests, I want you to answer maybe, one question which is worrying a lot of kids out there, a lot of students in Delhi, and that is what happens to the Delhi academic year? Does it get pushed? There are a lot of kids who are looking at competitive examinations. What happens to the next year? Because if this year gets pushed, there will be a fallback on the next year as well.
No, so I think for the coming academic year, there definitely needs to be a reduction in the syllabus, and that's the other thing that we have proposed to the MHRD, that at least a 30%. So till up to class 8, for example, is within the hands of the Delhi government as per the Right to Education Act. So there we are definitely going to slash the syllabus. But 9th standard onwards is a decision that has to be taken by the CBSE. And we have recommended that at least 30% of the syllabus needs to be scrapped, cut down for the coming academic year. And for the following year, NEET exams, IB exams, JEE exams have to be based on that slashed 30% syllabus. Because it would not be fair that you remove that syllabus from class 12 and then you examine them in their NEET and their JEE exams.
Right. Atishi, stay with me because I have a NEET examination aspirant. Malika, you are hoping to appear for your NEET. Do you have any concerns you want to voice right now?
It's not the concern, it's just that when we sit in the house and we don't know what to expect and when we'll have our exams, we're slightly demotivated because we don't have any perfect date to look up to. because as for after the board exams, I knew that I only have 1 month to prepare, and I had it on 3rd May. But now, since I don't know when and how the exam would happen, I don't know how much time I have and how much I should, be focused, because I get a little demotivated by it.
All right. Jyoti Gupta, the issue raised by her, the student, is quite fair, because, all these kids have a clear timeline in their head, and these are unprecedented times. How do we address these concerns?
First of all, I would like to say that I am the founder director of DPS Sahibabad, not Ghaziabad. And the children, of course, at this time are very, very stressed. And they do not know what time the exams are going to be, and it is unnecessarily giving them that stress. But at this point of time, it is only good that whatever content they have, because they've studied for the entire year, they should keep patience, they should revise their content, they should be ready so that whenever the exams are announced, even at a short notice, they can give the exam. So even whether it is NEET or JEE, the children have prepared for 2 years. They prepared for class 11, they prepared for class 12, and they are fortunate that their classes had happened. They had transacted the entire curriculum with the school and the teachers. So right now it is a time where the parents at home should be able to give them that environment so that they stay at peace and they are mentally agile, they are working out, and they are meditating also, doing exercises, and at the same time they are also revising their content.
All right.
Because nothing can be done at this point.
Nothing can be done, and these are unprecedented times. You have to work with it, but answers need to be given, and some of them are appearing. Bipasha, you're a mother to a 12th standard boy. What are your concerns right now?
My concern is, just as Malika said, same here with this boy, to keep them motivated, to keep them going, and as a mother, and keep the balance, so that you do not sound like a helicopter mother, you do not sound too pressurizing. But time is so fluid for them, and for a working parent, it's even more difficult. I'm not there to motivate them all the time. I'm not there to tell him, now you need to do this, that. And there is no timeline, there is no goal. It's everything has been pushed so much. And even for as a parent, I need to think about their time, their admission dates, as well as look for finance for their further education, how much it would cost me. My son wants to study abroad for international studies. There is a concern about money, the exchange amount. So, all of it, there are no answers to it. Everybody would keep telling you, keep patience, and perhaps parenting is a matter of taste of your patience, limit of that. So definitely COVID-19 is teaching me a different type of parenting.
All right. Chandryo, you're sitting next to your mother, Chandryo, and you want to study in Germany, you're a humanities student. What are your concerns? Because till now, have you been in touch with the college that you wanted to go to? What are they saying to you? What are your concerns that you want addressed, you want answers to?
Yeah, I was applying to this college in Germany. It had this entrance exam, scheduled at 11th May, coming May. But then due to this virus and this situation, the whole thing has been postponed. They're trying to find an online platform where they can, where all the other country students and international students can come together. They can apply for their colleges. They can, have their exams and carry on with their studies. I think it has already been, the vaccines are already been tested in Europe and all. So I hope, just good days are in future coming.
Well, I do hope good days are coming in, and I like, Chandra, your optimism there. But Ms. Jyoti Gupta, these are concerns. What about kids who are looking to study abroad? What is, the roadmap that they follow? And what would you suggest for a principal of a school, what would be your suggestion for a child who is in the 12th, has possibly, if I'm not wrong, there's only one examination that is pending for kids who are in their 12th standard, or maximum 2 for a few. So what would be your suggestion? Would it be that internal assessment be made, evaluations be made, and we at least move on in this new normal situation?
See, universities all across the world have already rolled out the admissions for the children. For the children who were going to US, UK, Canada, even to the European countries, all of them had already rolled out the admissions. So most of the children have their conditional offers already with them. Now comes the question of how they will be evaluated in one or the other exam. So the world over, the universities right now know the situation, and everybody is looking at supporting the children. Nobody is looking at penalizing the children or cancelling their admissions. The only thing is we all have to wait and see what the situation is, because most of the children start with their fall session in the months of August and September. So if the situation improves till August, the children will be in a position to go to these universities. If the position does not improve, then how will the children go? And everywhere, all across the world, the high schools and the class 12, wherever the children are had to give the external exams, everywhere either some kind of internal assessment has been done where the children have been promoted according to the internal assessments, and boards like IB, which are present in almost every country of the world, has also cancelled its class 12th examinations. Right. There also the children are going to be given the promotional grades on the basis of the internal assessment. Right. And here I would say that it is time that the schools were given due importance, and the assessment which is being done by the schools, that is taken up as the ultimate assessments. Right. Why should we keep torturing the children, and why should we keep making them wait? Right. And they keep waiting for the times, the good times, and when is it going to come? Anyways, class 12th exam is like a capping exam, where all 12 or 14 years of education they have completed. So for all kind of entrances that are going to happen, there are tests.
So let's just hope, I'm running short of time, Ms. Gupta, but appreciate your inputs there. And Bipasha, the new normal is not going to be an old school mom, I think, and that's the way forward. And I wish lots of luck to Chandreo and Malika. Lots and lots of luck and more patience to both of you, and success. Thank you all for joining us. I just want to now shift focus. As the nation battles the COVID-19 crisis, several of politicians, bureaucrats, police officials have also been infected, other than the other frontline workers like people with sanitization or doctors. A quick look at what kind of collateral we are experiencing in terms of our bureaucracy, in terms of the men in uniform, and of course, our politicians. The COVID-19 crisis is wreaking havoc across the world, and it's not just the Aam Aadmi caught in the crosshairs. The virus has struck several politicians, bureaucrats, and cops on frontline duty. Senior Congress leader and Ahmedabad corporator Badruddin Sheikh was the first political casualty of COVID-19, succumbed to the virus on Sunday after being on ventilator support for days. Remember, it was his presence at a political meeting that had sent the entire Gujarat cabinet in quarantine, as Mr. Badruddin Sheikh tested positive after attending the meet. Maharashtra Housing Minister Jitendra Awad is lodged in a Thane hospital after testing positive for COVID-19 earlier this month. The 54-year-old legislator is believed to have caught the infection from a police officer who had tested positive. At first, Awad tested negative, only to test positive now. Another NCP leader, Anand Paranjpe, tested positive for COVID-19 on April 14th. From politicians to the bureaucracy, the Niti Aayog building in New Delhi was sealed after a director-level officer tested positive for COVID-19. One case each has been reported from the Supreme Court and the Aviation Ministry. Cops on frontline duty are proving to be a big collateral in this war against the virus. In Mumbai, 3 cops have died of COVID-19 and 112 others have tested positive. Delhi has so far seen 24 cops falling victim to the virus. As many cops in Ahmedabad are infected too, and many, many more across the country. Bureau Report, India Today. So what is a precaution like a state of Maharashtra taking, especially when it's seeing a large import in terms of numbers of cops that have tested positive, and 3 are already dead due to COVID-19? Joining me right now is Mumbai Police spokesperson DCP Pranay Ashok. Sir, appreciate you joining us on India Today. Now, sir, what are the precautions that the Mumbai Police or the Maharashtra Police is taking? You've lost 3 of your members to coronavirus. Have you put in now a procedure, a protocol, or anything in place?
Our force has borne the brunt of this exposure to the virus, and unfortunately we have lost 3 of our men in the last few days. Keeping this in mind, some of the precautions that we are taking now is that firstly, all personnel in the constabulary who are above 55 years of age have been asked to stay back home. Apart from that, all those who are above 52 years of age and who have some previous medical conditions like blood pressure, hypertension, or diabetes, or etc., any such related conditions, then they are also allowed to stay back home. Apart from that, we are going for a 12-hour duty and a 24-hour shift system, wherein they get full 24 hours for rest before they join back to duty. This will be enforced till the 3rd of May. For 12,000 personnel, we have provided the HCQ tablets under medical supervision for those who are willing to have it. For improving their nutrition and improving their immunity system, 20,000 personnel have been provided with multivitamin and protein supplements so that their immunity system remains strong. For all our patients, whoever in the force gets affected by the virus, special hospitals have been designated. And apart from that, all those hospitals where the COVID-19 treatment is being undertaken, we have separate beds designated for our personnel.
DCP Ashok, at one point of time, and which was quite recent, certain concerns were being raised on safety equipments for your men in uniform and your women in uniform. Now, there are the frontline duty officers posted in containment zones. Is there still a problem with possibly equipment, possibly personal protection gear?
Apart from providing them the previously stated, as I said, apart from the providing leave for those who are above 55 years of age and the special hospitals, almost all those who are on frontline duty have been provided with the PPEs, hand gloves, masks, face shields, and hand sanitizers to all of these personnel so that they can take care of themselves and maintain personal standards of hygiene and safety. Apart from that, so that in order to prevent them from having foods from some unverified source, we are also providing them food packets and ration. We are also providing them hot water flasks, hot water and coffee and tea dispensers, so that they have availability of all such amenities, and so that they don't have to go to some other source to get these amenities. Apart from this, all the checkpoints or the nakabandis, all the static duty personnel have been provided with pandals and shade for shade, umbrellas for shade. And this is how we are trying to ensure that they remain safe and they do not feel uncomfortable while performing their duties.
Well, DCP Ashok, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you, because it's your men and women who are fighting and maintaining law and order in this pandemic theatre. We wish you a lot of luck, and thank you. Thank you for doing that. With that, it's a wrap and to the point this evening, but we do leave you with these heartwarming yet heartbreaking visuals. Panchkula police surprised a senior citizen living alone, a retired colonel who was living alone. They surprised him because it was his birthday and they wished him happy birthday. But what is heartbreaking at a level is the retired colonel living alone broke down at this gesture. We leave you with these visuals. These are the times of coronavirus. But some things can sometimes maybe bring a smile or maybe make you shed a tear. Thank you for joining us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Uncle.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.